English, yeah?
No. Okay, we can start. I don't want to waste any more of your time. So basically, tonight what we're going to be going through is I'm going to go through a bit about events, stories, building a community, being able to create your vision for yourself and create your vision for your team as well. Cool, I just muted everybody there. So yeah, it's just about trying to create that vision for everybody. A little bit about the community side, about stories, about events. So just kind of touching base on each of those kind of points and trying to give you some value on each of those as well. And really the first one I want to try and talk a little bit about, and that's about what we're trying to do with people. And what I mean by that is, every time we come in contact with anybody, if we put our main focus on how we can actually add value to people and really focus on wanting to help people. So never kind of come across to people having that mindset where you want to go, oh, I just want to try and sell this person, or I just want this person to try and join my team. Because like, if you have that mindset when you're coming across people, people are going to start picking that stuff up. Whereas if you generally are interested in people and you're interested to actually learn how you can add value to them and how you can help them, you're going to be able to get people to open up so much more, and you're going to get that connection so much stronger as well. Because in order for you to really find out how you can help people, it really comes down to finding out a little bit more about the person. And that comes down to asking people open-ended questions. So most people absolutely love talking about themselves. So it's just about asking those questions, finding out about the person. And like the thing with the questions is that you have full control of which direction you want to lead that conversation. So like if you wanted to talk about health, or you want to talk about weight loss, or anything like that you do have full control of which direction you go with that conversation. And it just comes down to the questions that you ask people. So like, even like if someone's overweight, you're never just going to turn around to them and go, hey, I've got this cool program that's going to help you to lose weight, because you never know, that person might be happy overweight. But if you actually start asking questions about their, like even start off by talking about yourself, about exercise, whatever it is that you're doing, and slowly start getting them to open up into questions talking about health. And then eventually they might say, oh, I've been trying to lose weight for a while. But instead of you turning around then and going, oh, well, okay, cool, we got this program in place. Instead of doing that, what you want to do is you want to aim to ask 3 to 5 more questions. Because what you're doing then is you're genuinely showing that you are interested in the person, and you do actually really want to find out how you can add as much value to them as possible. So like if someone said to me they wanted to lose weight, I'd simply say, okay, cool. So how much weight would you like to lose? How long have you been trying to lose weight? What have you tried in the past to try and help you lose weight? What do you believe is holding you back from losing weight? And I think that's a very powerful question, by asking somebody what do they believe is holding them back, because then you're really figuring out what the trigger point is going to be, because that's going to be the main focus then eventually when you do start incorporating about the DCN and Juice Plus and stuff. And because then you really know. And that goes the exact same then as well with the business side. So if you're talking to people about their lifestyle, could be talking about if they got kids, you could be talking about their kids, because now it's coming up to Christmas, and you know that I'm sure people with kids, their kids are going to be asking for all different types of things for Christmas. And for many people out there, they just won't be able to afford everything. So it could be like simple conversations like that, and you're going into asking about their kids a bit more, asking do they always ask for loads of different things that you feel like maybe you can't afford it or whatever. And again, it's just slowly getting them to open up. And then eventually you can actually, once you actually really find out a need for them to want to do the business side, then you can actually start to introduce it, because it isn't so much about the business at the end of the day. It's about them, and it's about really showing that you can actually show them another way and show them that how you actually can help them. And like, even for someone having an extra $500 a month coming in, that could be a massive impact on their lifestyle, especially if you really figure out someone's struggling with bills, or they just can't seem to get ahead or whatever. So like simple little things can make a massive improvement on someone's lifestyle. And like that's something that I'm starting to evolve on so much more, and I'm starting to get a lot more passionate about, because I really can see the difference that I can make in someone's life by just simply showing them that there is another way, that there is a way that they can create an additional income to come in to help them in whatever way it is. And that kind of comes down to as well about creating your own vision, because when we're speaking to people, it's about creating your vision of what you want to be able to achieve. So like even for me, my bigger goal at the moment, say within the next 10 years, is about being able to get my team all part of the mission to be all part of a community where we're helping people that are a lot less fortunate. So eventually moving into opening up our own charity there, that helping people have some better chance at life. And that's something that eventually I'm going to start evolving into later on. So that's kind of my bigger vision. But then it's also about creating a vision for yourself of where you want to see yourself in the next year, 2 years, 5 years, of what you really want to kind of create with this. And like another thing for me, another big goal for me was being able to help my wife see her family more often. So my wife is from Brazil, and the last time she's been back home has been nearly 4 years now. So I've said, right, from this year, we're going to go back to Brazil every year from now on for a minimum of 1 month. So that's like another vision I'm trying to create with this business. So like you do have the ability to be able to create anything you want from this. And once you actually see that that is possible, it opens up your mindset so much more, and it really gets you to understand what is possible from this. So it starts to get really, really cool as that evolves and as you start to move forward with it. And another big thing for me as well, it's about creating that vision for other people to really show them what is possible for them. So kind of getting them to start thinking about the question about what if they could create an extra income? What if they could have an extra $1,000 a month coming in? How would that help to impact their life? So instead of them having any doubts or anything like that in their mind, but really getting them to focus on the what if. What if they were able to spend more time with their kids? Or what if they could take a 3 weekend every weekend? So really getting people to actually connect with that, because like in our society, we're all kind of grown up to believe that we need to work for 40 years and we need to have a really good education to be able to get a really good job, to get a really good salary, and then work 40, 50, people working 60, 70, 80 hours a week. And the thing with that is you don't have much of a lifestyle. And of course, you're going to get some people that absolutely love that. And I'm not there to change people's mind that do actually love that. I'm just simply there to try and share that vision that there is another way, and getting them to think, what if they could actually have the same earnings they do now, working all those hours, but having more freedom and more lifestyle to actually own more hours of their lives. And another big thing as well is about creating that vision for people to say, getting them to think about how much each hour of their life is worth to them. Because for many people, they don't get to choose how much that's worth. And for many people, it really comes down to the company that they work for gets to choose how much each hour of their day is actually worth. So I think that's another really powerful thing, when you can actually show people that they get to choose how much each hour of their day is actually worth to them, or each hour that they work is actually worth. So like with that as well, it's about allowing people to really get to see that they can own their life. And like I said earlier, we're not about pushing anything on anybody whatsoever. But once you create that vision for someone and actually show them it is a reality, and then at the end of the day, then it's completely up to them if they decide to go with it or not. Our job is simply just to share it with them and share that vision with them, because we do literally have a gift to completely change someone's life. And it's our obligation then to actually just go out and share that with people. And the cool thing is with this business, the more people you help to actually impact their lifestyle, the more impact it's going to have on your lifestyle. So if you generally actually go out and focus on helping as many people as possible, then your life is going to be completely changed around, and you do have the ability to achieve anything that you want in life. So that part is also really, really cool. So then from there, I just want to move into sharing a little bit about events. So as you know, that weekly now we've been running the Thursday night events. And like the reason we started up those events in the first place is because it is about bringing the community together. It's about bringing everybody together. It's about sharing what we're all about. And we know as well that our business is built on sharing with people. And you can actually go away and you could book in, say, 100 meetings with 100 different people, or you could actually get all those 100 people and bring them all together into one place and actually just do one meeting. And the cool thing with doing it just as one meeting is you get people to be able to share different stories. And of course, as well, when you're connecting with people, not everybody's going to connect to you and your story. But when you have more people involved with this, people have different backgrounds, people have had different journeys, people have completely different stories. So that's why doing events is really, really powerful. And it just kind of comes back to just basically molding everything together, mold your vision together and your story, what you want to be able to achieve, the message you want to bring across, and actually put that together into an event. And that's what allows people's business to really start booming and moving forward. So whether we're going to do an online event, whether you want to do a home event at home, and the home events are pretty cool as well. And the good thing about them is they're just very casual. So for example, we did a launch event for my brother a couple of months back when he first started. And so all his friends, they're all in their early 20s. So what we basically did is we brought them all up to the house. We all just had a couple of beers. We made some food, so it was just kind of chilling out, having a bit of a chit chat. And then all we did was simply we played the DCN video we have, we put that up on the TV. We just played that. And after that, then we just basically had a bit of a chit chat, had a chat to people about their goals, started sharing about my stories. My brother was sharing about his story. And from that, he was able to build up a couple of customers and as well bring people into the business. So it's just about doing it whatever way you want, because the thing with events is that like there's no rules to it. You can actually create an event any way you want, but the events are always going to be the most powerful, and as well they're going to be a lot of fun, especially when you're doing the ones that are the in-home events or ones that are face-to-face with people, just because you have a much better connection with people when it's face-to-face. The good thing about the online events is that you get to learn from everybody else, because of course when we do the weekly event every Thursday, there's people from all over Australia, there's people tuning in from the UK, there's people tuning in from Ireland. So you're getting that wide variety of lots of different people sharing lots of different stories, which is also really cool. So that's kind of really everything I wanted to go through on that part. So it's just about kind of really having a think to yourself what you want to create from this. Have a think about your story and your journey, and kind of what message you'd like to get across to people. Plus as well, just keeping it in the back of your mind every time you speak to someone, that you really want to focus on how can I help this person? How can I really focus on adding value to this person? And just simply by doing those simple things, you'll notice that your business will start to move forward. Because as well, when you are genuinely sincere about all this, people will not only want to be part of doing the program and stuff, but they'll also want to be part of your vision. I don't know if you've ever heard the guy Simon Sinek. There's a really cool video on YouTube you can watch of him, and it's called The Power of Why. And he talks about people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And he starts talking about Apple and other computer companies and stuff. And he's just saying like all the companies are the exact same, except Apple created a vision and people buy into that vision rather than buying into the products. And it just really goes to show that if you focus on your vision and focus on really wanting to help people, people will connect with that and they really will want to be a part of that. Does anybody have any questions on any of that kind of stuff I've just gone through? There's an unmute button there, so you can just unmute yourself if you do have any questions at all. All good. I know Dave is supposed to be jumping on, but I think he just sent me a message to say he's stuck in traffic. So what I'll do is I'll just jump in. I'll start what he was going to go through.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
I've got one question.
Yeah.
Can you go over how to like close an event? So like what to sort of say to people at the end and like make sure, you know, we're actually sort of asking, you know, for either people to join in the business and that stuff like that, or even just how you kind of structure events, like getting people to share their stories.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Actually, I'll start off first about inviting people. So
yes, that too.
So the fact that we have these events running every week anyway, and the idea, it's there to help you to build your business and to get you more clients and to get you more team members. So like each and every time when I'm speaking to someone, all I'm trying to do is trying to build that little bit of interest and then say to them, look, we've got an online event happening next week. Would you be open to jumping on and checking it out? It's going to share a bit more information. You hear some stories from other people, and it'll allow you to have a much better opinion on what we are all about. So if you, and because as well, like our business is a numbers game. So it's the same with inviting people to events. For every, especially live events, we probably normally get around 50% of people that actually show up to them. And for these Zoom events, I think it's going to be a little bit higher just because people can tune in from home, from their phone and laptop. But really, every time you're speaking to someone out there, you should be aiming to at least introduce the event to at least 5 people per day. That's if you're serious about the business. If you're really serious, then you should be aiming for at least 10 people a day that you're actually saying, right, we have an online info session. Would you be open to checking it out? So the way that we've been structuring the events for those that haven't been to the online event or been to a live event. The live event, what we normally do is we will talk about the program, then we'll talk about the business. And then if someone is there that has done the program, we get them to share their story. If not, we'll share a couple of stories that we've seen from other people already. Then from there, for the live events, what we'll normally do is have someone make some of the chocolate chia slices or make up a couple of shakes or the turkey muffins, just so people get to actually physically taste some of the foods that we have within the program. Then from there, we lead into talking about the business side. So I tried to not keep the business side too technical at all. I tried to keep it very basic and focus more on, again, creating that vision for people and sharing the stories, because I feel that people connect more with the stories. And then it's afterwards, once they have more of a connection to wanting to know more about the business, then I can go into the marketing plan and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's really just about, again, creating that vision for people. With the closing then as well, I find for the live events, for the online events, it's just really about inviting people to get back to the person that's invited them and let them know what they liked about it. Because it is really hard to close, especially if you can't see someone face to face. And as well, if you've invited someone, it's going to be a lot easier for you to close with them than for me to do it, even though if I was after running the event, because you're going to have a better connection with that person. So then from there, after every event, what you really need to be doing is you need to get on the phone or else try and meet the person face to face. And the first question you want to ask the person is, what did you like about the information that you just heard? And the reason you want to ask that question is because if you say to someone, okay, what did you think about that? They can think up of a negative or a positive before they start sharing it with you. Whereas if you say to someone, what did you like about that? They might say, they'll only start to think of the positive. And if you say, also as well, if you say, what did you like about that? They're going to say, oh, well, I liked that it was all real food and I loved all the real stories and I loved all the results. So then the next question I'd say is, okay, cool. So what else do you need to know to get started? Because from there, what you're doing is you're already getting over their objections by asking that question, because if they need to know something else, they'll tell you there and then. But you'll find a lot of people will just say, actually, yeah, no, I don't think I need to know anybody. So I'll say, okay, cool. Well, let's get you started then. So it's just leading in from there. And then it's the same thing about the business side. I'll just ask that question. Okay, cool. So what did you like about the business side about what we're doing? And they might say, oh, well, I like the way you're actually helping more people to improve their health and reaching out to make more of an impact on people's lifestyles. And again, the same thing. So what else would you need to know to get started? Could you see yourself helping other people? Do you have a passion for health, and would you like to be able to be one of the people that are actually making a difference to others? For people then that actually have done the program and have invited them to the event, I'll say to them, well, you've seen what it's done to you. You've actually felt the results that you've got. How would you feel if one of your friends actually turned around to you and said, oh my God, thank you for putting me onto that program. Thank you for helping me lose weight or improve my eating habits or whatever it may be. Like it's such an amazing feeling when someone actually turns around and thanks you. So if you have someone that's after getting really good results and you actually create that picture in their head, they're going to get a lot more emotionally attached, especially if they've been on the journey already. So I find it is really cool to be able to close with people like that. Does that kind of answer everything, Zoe? Or anybody else have any other questions?
Perfect.
You've turned into a robot.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Sorry, I think I've got... Yeah, perfect.
Cool.
Thanks, yeah.
I think Dave may still be stuck in traffic, but all good. So basically what Dave was going to go through, he was going to go through customer care. So basically the customer care, that's one of the most vital parts to your business. Simply because if you don't have any customers, you don't really have any business. The way you could build up hundreds and hundreds of team members, but at the end of the day, if there's no customers in your business, then your business doesn't really exist. And that's another cool thing about our business model. Oh, there's Dave. Welcome.
Sorry, guys.
You want to take
I think I just got here at the right time.
Awesome, just in time.
All right, customer care, as Steve was talking about, it's very important to look after our customers. It takes a long time for us to get the customers, sometimes a long time, 3 or 4 applications through events or through lots of conversations, information that we share. So it's important that we keep in touch with them and actually have a good relationship with them. I personally like to ring them, and this is a schedule that both head office as well as what we would like to do is share with them information as we go. Now, as part of our team, JP, we actually have a customer care program that we put up, and you plug your people into. I'll just share my screen here. Steve, if you could just share the screen where we plug in our customer care information. Have you got that there that we can bring up? It doesn't seem to allow me to share my screen at the moment.
Yeah, give me 2 seconds.
So Steve's just bringing up, when we start up, whether you've been here a long time or not, we have a website which Zoe and John have thankfully set up. The customer will receive 12 emails, one every month, with information on Juice Plus, on general healthy living, videos, all those sorts of things, each month for the first 12 months. This is just additional information on what we should be doing personally when we start up. Here we go. Yep, so there we go. So if you scroll down a bit, you can see you put their first name in, their last name in, their email, submit that, and then every month they'll actually get the information. Now that's just one of the aspects that we use for helping our customers, get information, educate them, which is what we're all about, helping educate them and getting them healthy. Now that's just one aspect of what we're doing. The other one is I always ring the person every month for the first 4 months as a minimum. First call is to check that they're actually have received their product. and make sure that they're actually have read the bottle to see that they're taking their capsules, the right amount of capsules, as well as, you know, the right amount of water to go with those capsules. Because you sometimes see, I've come across a couple of my clients who've actually said, oh, I take one each and I just have it with my meal. It's like, well, you need to, you know, read the packet and make sure that they're actually taking it properly, because it can mean that if they're not taking it properly, that, you know, something like, you know, not getting enough water, they might get an upset stomach or something. So we need to make sure that they take it. And that's that first 10 days of them receive their product. Then after that month, I then give them another call back, see how they're going, because that's their first 28 days. You know, that's one of the most important times to actually call them up and see how they're going. They'll have already set a habit. You know, it takes 21 days to make a habit stick. So this is why it's so important to get them at that first month. Also, it gives you the opportunity, if you haven't already invited them along to an event, to get them actually along to an event and, you know, get their database working for you at the same time. You know, they also may have some questions that you need to answer, or they may have a friend that wants to come along or jump on board because they've seen the changes on themselves. Then when you go into your third month, this is when our Juice Plus effect comes into place. That if you guys know, when you're actually putting a customer into your database, you see up the top left corner there's a little tick box which allows you to tick that, and it will give you a reminder for a Juice Plus effect survey, which means they can get their berry blend, or they can actually get a free of the complete 30 sachets of the complete. Now that's important to get done just after that 3 months. Answer the questionnaire that comes out, which is actually on our virtual office, and go through that nicely. This also gives them the third month of contact with you, another opportunity to the events, or even if they've come to an event, to actually get them to talk about the business side of things for you. And that is very important, to create a raving fan for yourself. You know, we've all had them. A raving fan who's wanting to join the business because they've seen what it's done for themselves as well as done for others. So, you know, that's important on that third. And then just before the fourth month is when their next shipment's coming out. So it's important to get them. It'll pop up in your virtual office, giving you a reminder 10 days before their product shipped. It's important to actually give them a call, see how they're going, see whether they need their product delayed. You know, we've had people that have actually cancelled their product, and then when the person's actually run them up, they said, I've just received my next batch, I needed it, I didn't want it now, I wanted it like 3 weeks later. So it's very important, customer care, to actually ring them up before that's shipped out, so that it makes sure that they're actually keeping online. Also, it means that when that 4 month comes up, they may have a question, or they may have that extra week, and they just need it delayed for that amount of time. Much better than them cancelling and then you just finding out that they had an overstock. So makes sense for that. And then carrying on from that fourth month, it's always important to catch up with them. You know, not just every 4 months before their next shipment comes out, but actually call them and find out. You know, it may be the case that, you know, that they want an extra batch for a friend or something like that in that meantime. It also gives you an opportunity, again, to invite them to an event or something, to a home event, or even to a Zoom event. You know, these Zoom events are weekly, so it's important to keep that rolling through and carrying on. Steve, have you got anything to add probably on top of that?
Yeah, one thing. I'm not sure if you've all seen it, but Katie Ravey over in the UK just received her million, basically her million. She's just made over £1 million sterling plus business. But all her strong frontline in her business, they all came from her customer base, because she was really, really focused on customer care and actually really looking after her customers. That they started to get results. She shared the business with them, and because she had that connection with them, they actually went through the whole journey themselves and really got looked after, those guys all went on to build incredible businesses. So she built a huge business just because of her customers and looking after them, and then from there inviting them basically to have a look at the business side and come along to an event. So that means that it is really important, and it is a lot better to get when you get team members that have done the program so far, because they have that emotional attachment to it. They're not going to feel like they're a salesperson or anything like that, because they're just going to simply be sharing from their heart. And if they've got incredible results, they're going to share with people regardless if they do the business or not. So by just you saying to them, look, even like you could cover the cost of your own products, or how would you feel if you could actually help to make a difference to other people's health or make a difference to your family? How would you feel about that? And like they will jump on board in a flash. So once you really have that connection with the person, and once they've actually felt like they've been looked after through their journey, they will want to do that. Another good thing about that as well is that once they've gone through the journey, and if they jump on board with you to do the business, there isn't too much training to do with them, because they've seen exactly what they have to do, and they're just going to do what you've done with them. So if you've done a really good job with them, they're just going to duplicate what you've done, and one of the reasons they'll join the business is because you've done a really good job with them. So it's going to be so much easier then for them to actually just go out and share it and look after their customers. So I think one other thing to really touch on here is our support group, so our DCN support group, so that when new customers are brought in, that people are just even welcoming them in, or when you see something good that's been posted. So if someone posts up, I don't know, a new recipe or something to do with health or whatever it is that someone posts up that's pretty good, be sure to just jump on and tag all your customers in it, so that they do get to see it, so that they do get the value from it as well. I think everybody as well should be posting inside there at least a couple of times a week anyway. And again, every time you post inside there, tag all your clients inside in it. Because again, what you're doing is you're actually still doing your customer care. You're just doing it a bit more indirectly, but you're still actually sharing some good stuff with them. So then when you do have the next phone call, you can say, hey, how are we doing? What did you think of this? Did you get to try that new recipe we posted up? Or so whatever it is, you're still making that connection with the person, and they're still feeling like they're involved with everything as well. Go on.
Yeah. Just on my customer care, for example, when I have a customer sign up, whether it be online, I usually do a hard copy, and then I keep all my stuff in a file. You know, I may be old school, but I keep it all in a file. When I've got my person in my file, I then can have a sheet behind that sign up file, and it can be the back of it. You know, I've gotten to the stage where I actually run my sheets so the twin customer sheet is actually just on one page, so I'm saving paper, but on the back I actually will put information about them. You know, so it may be if they're the mum of the family and they've got some kids, I'll write kids' names on the back and the ages, so I know if they're in the child health study or if they're not in the child health study. It means I've got information for when I talk to them, I can actually create that relationship with them, and it gives you a great reminder, because when you start getting 30, 40, 50 clients on board, as well as with team, and you're talking to people for team, you want to know a bit of information about them. It could give you an opening to them, as Steve was saying, it could give you an opening to talk to them about the business, because you can see their 2 kids and they're struggling at the moment for paying. Can we delay it? It may be the case that you can jump on that and actually talk to them about that for the business side. I think that's probably about it on the customer care. Any questions, guys, on anything there, or Steve or Lauren, anything else you want to add to the customer care side?
I think that's all good. No? Anyone questions now?
Cool. All right. Events. Have you covered through events, Steve? Or
yeah, done it all.
Yep. Excellent.
So last thing to do is take a photo.
Take a photo. That's it.
Everyone smile. Awesome.
See you guys.
I think the final thing I will say is it's just important to talk to your clients. We're getting them, we want them for life, we want them to be healthy for life. So it's so important just to talk to your clients. Even if you feel scared for, it pops up on their feed and it says 10 days till their next shipments go, just jump in and call them in that 10 days. We get a genealogy report that gets sent to us. Really good to look at. Go through them. It gives you an advance, so you can see who you need to call in that month to actual follow up ready for their next shipment. So they're not getting a shipment dumped on their desk without you actually talking to them. So thanks, guys.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Corey.
Thanks.
See ya.
Ciao. Bye.
Bye.
Au revoir.